If you have ever felt overwhelmed by all the aspects of your solopreneur business, your newsletter, your social media, your audience, your offers, all the things, this video is for you. On a whim last month, I started using Canva's whiteboard feature in order to see every aspect of our business in one place at a glance, and it has been a game changer in order to get clarity and make strategic decisions about how to move our business forward. In this video, I'm going to walk you through my Calm Creator Business Whiteboard to inspire you to maybe make your own so that you can visualize all the little pieces of your creator business in a holistic way. And if you stick around, you are going to get a real-time sneak peek at some changes we're making to Wandering Aimfully's branding and some new offer ideas we have as well. All right, let's just dive right in. So here we are in the Calm Creator Business Whiteboard, and let me just give you a quick zoomed out look at this entire whiteboard. Again, this is my favorite thing about this feature is kind of the infinite canvas idea because you can see every aspect at one time. So before getting too overwhelmed, I will give you a preview of what I've included here in this whiteboard. We start with just some general background on your business. We move on to your audience and foundation, identifying who your target audience is, what your offer ideas are, and trying to really nail down what your core offer is, your value proposition, so you know how to communicate the value of your offer to your audience, some aspects of your brand, and then being able to almost keep your brand board here as well. Then on to, okay, let's apply the brand and your messaging and your audience to your website. On to then extending your branding into your social presence, what apps and platforms you're going to have a social presence on, your visibility plan in order to get new people to interact with your brand, onto your lead magnet, your newsletter, and finally a checklist for you to identify any aspects of your business that need attention through this process. So let's zoom back out and go to the beginning, and I'll walk you through each piece. And this has just been so helpful in getting clarity about the holistic picture of our business. So we start here with our what we call your 2-word tango, which is just, can you describe what you do to someone in 2 or 3 words? And so the simplest way to say what we do here at Wandering Aimfully is unboring business coaching. That's kind of our 2-word tango. Moving on to dive deeper, what's your backstory? What is some context for why you do what you do? And so this is where we write our background. Jason and I have been doing online business and running various different online businesses and digital product businesses for over 10 years now. And in case you're new to our channel, I'm Caroline Zook. My husband is Jason Zook. And again, that is where our experience lies. And so we have a little bit about what our mission is here, what makes us different in the coaching space online. And then if you're someone who's more of a beginner and you're sort of just figuring out, I don't even know what my creative skills are, I love this value ingredients exercise where you can write down your experiences, your expertise, your skills, your strengths, and you can start to kind of mine all of those things that can offer value to someone else to try to figure out this is going to be your niche and this is how you bring value to people who will pay you money for your skills. Moving on to audience and foundation, this is by far the most valuable thing that this exercise has brought me. The question here is, who needs the valuable solution your skills can offer? And Jason and I have known for a long time that Wandering Aimfully is much more of a generalist business. For a long time, we were just sort of targeting online business owners because we can help all kinds of business owners. However, recently, we've really decided that we need to try and narrow it down a little bit further because it makes everything easier when you can speak to the specific pain points of your audience. And so to figure that out, we really tried to think about our community and think about, can we separate those people into different categories? It really boils down to these 4 different categories, which, by the way, it's really hard to speak to 4 different categories of people, even though we've done a pretty successful job of that up to this point. But this helped us see, like, wouldn't it be so much more effective if we just talked to 1 of these groups or 2 of these groups? So we have 4 groups. We call them Kickstarters, freelancers, smart scalers, and veteran optimizers. And they're all looking for different problems and different stages of the journey to building a digital products business. So you can see the stars here I really like. I love the feature of adding little kind of animated stickers to this whiteboard. It makes it more fun and like you want to be in here. But the reason I have stars here is because we really want to go for the Kickstarters and the smart scalers. But those are 2 very different groups of people. And so how do you speak to them kind of more broadly at one time? And we identified that kind of the overlap between those two groups is what we call solopreneur creators. So these are people who want time freedom, creative freedom, and location freedom. They don't want to grow a big team or manage a lot of people or grow just for growth's sake, run this like big empire operation. They just love creating and they want to make meaningful work that financially supports a good life. And ultimately, they just want flexibility and freedom, not pressure and hustle. If you're watching this and you're like, that's me, then maybe you would consider yourself a solopreneur creator, but then that means we're doing your job because you found our videos. After you choose your group, what are their pain points? What outcome or transformation are they looking for? So you might have one target audience or you might have two. I wouldn't go more than that, speaking from experience. And this is where you really get inside their head and you figure out what is the transformation they're looking for? What is the outcome that you can help them achieve with your skills and all of those value ingredients in the previous kind of step here. And I find it a very helpful exercise to always be able to write out the pain points. What are the things they're struggling with? And it's just really helpful to be able to keep this all in one place in sort of a visual way. It helps me envision this person in my head so that when I go to write a newsletter or an article or a social media post, I know what the outcome is that I'm trying to get to for that person. And I can see overall where my offers fit into helping that person achieve the outcome they're looking for. And then we boil all of that down into what we call our 4 Qs foundation. So who do you help? Solopreneur creators. Why does your business exist? You write your mission here. What benefit or outcome does your business provide? And again, you kind of go more broad because there's outcomes within each audience segment. But in general, we teach solopreneurs how to grow calm creator businesses that are predictable, profitable, and peaceful, which is how we define a calm business. And then how do you deliver that benefit? Mainly, our main offer is WAIM Unlimited, which is an unboring coaching program that gives members clear actions they can take every single month to have bigger digital product launches with less stress and a welcoming community to grow alongside. And so some of this is just about being able to articulate your brand messaging so that you can clearly articulate it in every piece of content that you create. So that's a really important step, that audience step. Moving on to the offer ideas. Once you know who you're talking to, there's all different types of ways that you can come up with a digital product that serves their needs. The question here is how can you combine your value ingredients into a digital product that you can charge for? And if you're someone who, again, is just getting started, I included this entire bank of these are all different formulas and packaging options for ways that you can offer products that you can charge for in a digital way. I find that very helpful as well because sometimes it even reminds me of little products that we could try out or test. But ultimately, what we're looking for is what we call a chef's kiss offer, which has these 6 aspects. And we have another video on our channel all about a chef's kiss offer if you want to look for that. But you're looking for a core offer that you can really build the foundation of your business on. And for us, that is our signature coaching program, WAIM Unlimited. What we recently realized, and this is kind of what precipitated this Calm Creator business plan, is that WAIM Unlimited is really, we have tons of Kickstarters in our program, but who it's really great for is smart scalers because they're at a place where they can make this kind of investment. They're getting really great tactical advice on how to have bigger launches, how to create a holistic digital products business. I think it's really valuable to identify which of your audience segments your core offer is for, because then you can speak to them in all of your marketing messaging. Very helpful to write out here what the benefits of that offer are versus the features. And again, the features are the things included, but the benefits are how that makes their life easier, how that gets them the outcome they're looking for. Because this main offer is targeted towards smart scalers, we're actually in the middle of thinking what is an intro offer that is maybe a much more affordable price point for our Kickstarters, for people who are not yet ready to make a huge investment. They're maybe wanting to leave their 9-to-5 job or start a side business. They want to dip their toe into digital products. What can we do using our value ingredients that would really help that person? And that is what Jason and I are working through right now. And then one of our favorite exercises is what we call offer math, where you are taking the price of your offer and you're taking your monthly revenue target and you're simply asking yourself, how many sales would it take of my offer in order to reach my financial goals? So that is here as well. Whenever we do decide what the price of this intro offer is, we'll run it through the offer math. We'll see what is the financial potential of adding revenue to our business. After we have our offer ideas, we have an exercise of writing out your value proposition, which I think is extremely valuable. So how can you articulate the value of your core offer to your target customer? all these pieces are kind of building on one another. So you have your audience now, you have your offer now. How do you communicate the value? And we have a little formula here. So I won't read our value proposition for WAIM Unlimited, but this becomes extremely helpful when you're talking about your offer in your social media, in your sales emails, on your sales page, things like that. A very, very helpful exercise there. Now on to the brand. So the question here becomes, what makes you unique from others in your niche? How can you visually communicate that differentiator in your brand visuals and vibe? So again, it's all building on one another because now we know the value we provide, who we're talking to, how do we want to be different than other business coaches out there? And we've done lots of these exercises for what our visual tone words are, our values tones are, our voice, how do we speak online? And one thing that I noticed when I did this whole Calm Creator exercise is this word of fun kept coming up. Jason and I used it a lot in our unboring business coaching. That's our 2-word Tango. And I started to look at our branding, and let me just zoom up here for you. So this is actually gives you an idea of our coaching slides previous to last month. And it gives you a little sneak into our branding. So I still felt really good about our brand, but I started to think to myself, there's not enough fun that's being injected into it if we really want that to be our differentiator, if we really want to stand out against kind of all of the more aggressive and looks the same kind of coaches out there, hustle mode, bros online. How can we be visually different so that it stops someone in their scroll and goes, oh, those are the people that I want to learn from. Those are the people who make business fun. And I just thought we weren't leaning into fun quite enough. My main insight there was Jason and I we changed up our coaching format recently into this Unboring Business Bites format, which our coaching members are really loving. And it's sort of this comic book style, case study style design where we walk people through storytelling and different things that we're trying to do in our business. And I started to really like the look and feel of this. And I just thought, why don't we apply that to our entire brand? So this was an opportunity for me to make a little bit of a mood board here. I really like the kind of vintage bubble font, more fun, more playful look and feel. And I asked myself, how can I integrate that into our brand without completely alienating our entire branding? Same colors, just basically switching out a couple of fonts and graphic elements. And so that's where I now can see that all at a glance. And you can actually see that now being applied to our website. So this is what we call our 4Qs clarity test of when someone lands on your website, can they immediately answer these 4 questions? And this is actually our current website right now, which there's nothing wrong with it. We went with a very simple approach, and I think the messaging is clear. But again, it doesn't once you land on it, you don't think to yourself, wow, those are some unboring business coaches. And that's what we want people to walk away thinking. So this is something I'm working on for the summer, which is we're switching over our website from WordPress to Framer. Comment below if you want me to document that process here on the channel. But I just think that this look and feel, this has the new fonts, kind of the comic book touches, just represents, you can see them right next to each other. It represents so much more of that unboring brand differentiator that we want to highlight. And those are the things that you start to see when you see all the pieces of your business at a glance together from a 20,000 foot view. And that's what I think the benefit of doing something like this gets you, is you can see all the pieces fitting together. So this is our sales page for Wandering Aimfully Unlimited that we've had for the past 4 years, and it's worked really well for us. But we're ready to take the same basic structure and just apply that new fun branding with our crystal clear brand messaging that this exercise has given us. So that's the website section. Then moving on to, okay, now how are you going to take everything that you have on your website and apply it to your social presence? So let's expand that, and you can choose what social platforms are you going to be on, which ones are you going to completely ignore, and you can always kind of keep a running. I love this separating them into yes and no, because mentally it helps you with the FOMO of being like, yeah, you know what, strategically we're not going to focus on LinkedIn right now, and that's okay. So it kind of fights that urge to be on all the platforms at one time. And I built out these profiles here using some Canva templates so that I can see when we go back on social very soon here, what do we want our profile to look like? What am I writing in our bio, And so I'm taking some of the things that I'm learning in doing this process. Right here at the top, grow your Calm Creator business selling digital products. This is all around messaging that we're honing using this exercise. So that's social presence. Moving on to your visibility plan. Do you have a strategy for getting your brand in front of new people? And very simply, this is going to be our visibility plan for the next little quarter here. We're just going to focus on organic social content, SEO strategic articles, and once we get the new website up, we are thinking about doing just a little podcast tour. We don't do a lot of interviews anymore, but we have had lots of requests for those. So we're just going to say yes. And so then moving into our content strategy matrix, which we went over a couple of videos ago, but we love this framework for what content are you creating and for what purpose. And then most recently, I think I did this exercise, which was extremely helpful for us, just writing out what are the topics and subtopics that my ideal audience would be interested in. And so keeping in mind Kickstarters and Scale Smarters, what are they interested in? And I think Jason and I originally had like 10 different categories. Basically everything you see here, is every exercise, picture that as a category. And we were like, that is too much. It's too all over the place. As much as we can talk about every aspect of your online business, we really want to focus on launching digital products. That's what we think we're best at, and doing that in a stress-free and calm way. So we narrowed down our topics into these categories, which are the 6 big categories you see here. And then the subtopics within those categories, like what are kind of the specific tactics that feed into that? And you can see next to each category, I have either profitable, predictable, or peaceful, which again ties into if my overall goal and mission for Wandering Aimfully is to help people build calm businesses, which are defined as predictable, profitable, and peaceful, is that tying back to the content, the stuff that I'm talking about in my content? So take a moment, write out your topics and subtopics, and then ask yourself, do these topics match the outcome I'm trying to get for my target audience? So I think that's a really helpful exercise as well. 2 more sections here. So your lead magnet, of course, how do you plan to entice people to join your email list? And right now we have our Calm Business Bottleneck quiz, which really has been working really well for us. Eventually we'll probably swap that out, but I still think right now that still ties back to the outcome of helping people run calm businesses. So we have no real urgency to change that. Again, here's some lead magnet ideas if you're looking for some new things that you can offer. And then your newsletter plan. So what's the format of your newsletter and how does it help your target audience? We refreshed our newsletter at the beginning of this year. We renamed it, have a new format, and we've really been enjoying it. So these are kind of the steps. We actually just did a coaching session on identifying every single one of these 9 parts of your newsletter so that you can really build something that's sustainable and that people are going to want to sign up for. And I think seeing it all written out like that is helpful to just say like, yeah, we write and schedule on Friday mornings. This is when I send the newsletter. This is the name of the newsletter. Here's the format, etc. And if you're not signed up for our newsletter, head to wanderingaimfully.com/newsletter to sign up for Growing Steady. We always have 1 tip for a predictable business, 1 tip for a more profitable business, and 1 tip for a more peaceful business every single Monday. And then finally, we have the Calm Creator checklist here at the very end. And my intention here is just to use this as I go through the Calm Creator Business Whiteboard. If there's any action steps that I want to take, like here I have determined my Kickstart offer, then I can write them here and I can use these as action items in order to actually fix those things in the business. A lot of those I've already checked off, but that is why we have the action item checklist here at the end. And that's it. I hope you found this visual business plan helpful. I hope it sparked some ideas for you on what aspects of your business need attention so that you can grow a sustainable business for the long haul. If you enjoyed this, please leave a comment below and let us know what kind of creator business you have. And also, if you'd like to see this as a template, and if we get enough comments, I'll clean it up and I'll make it a free downloadable Canva template for our email subscribers. Thanks for watching. See you next time.